his entrepreneurship journey, his views on the purpose of entrepreneurship, right? And then we will have a segment later for the students to ask questions and interact with Damian, right? So maybe we can just start by sharing with the audience today what is Motorist about and how does it help your users and customers?
Right. Hello, everybody. So my name is Damian. I'm the founder and CEO of Motorist. So Motorist is a 5-year-old startup. What we do is we provide a smart solution for car owners. So we started off as a company to help car owners sell their cars hassle-free. So that was actually one of the problems that I used to have. And with that, I figured that there's a market opportunity, and then I created a solution for it. So 5 years down, we are not just selling cars, so we are doing a full stack solution for car owners. So basically, we do quite a bit of things here to simplify vehicle ownership. So we break it down into 4 phases: you buy, you drive, you maintain, you sell. So apart from just selling of vehicles, we are also making life easy for car owners for the other phases as well.
Yep. Wow, awesome. For the benefit of our audience here, who are majority students, first-time entrepreneurs, I really want to take you back to the time when you were in RP, right? So how is school life like for you? How are you as a student?
So back in RP days, I'm just a very average student. So like I think some of you guys here attend minimum classes, play Dota during school, and just hang out with friends and just enjoy PBL, because I think PBL itself is quite interesting because you have a problem, then you Google for solution. So I think I really enjoyed doing that versus sorry. I prefer doing that versus going for like a lecture and to just read from the textbooks, right? Yep. So I mean, my grades aren't good as well. I think I got a 2-point-something GPA end of the day. Yeah. So but yeah, I think I managed to survive polytechnic.
All right. Thanks for sharing that. I think we can all relate. Right. Not everyone is going to be academically inclined. We have people and students, sometimes also struggling, right? To do well academically, but that's all right. If academic stuff wasn't for you, what was your passion then?
Right. I mean, I think as students, right, we are still in our teenage years. We hang out with friends, we explore life, have girlfriends and boyfriends, So, but of course, since young, for me, I was passionate in the IT area. So I like to explore like codes and build stuff, create solutions for problems through automation and whatnot. So yeah, so I think I'm pretty passionate about that area, which is why I think it leads me to what I am today. So I mean, even in RP, right? I was from the SIT School of IT, so I did multimedia, and I actually built a 3D transformer game for my FYP. So it was quite impressive that I can build something out of nothing, and from there I start to recognize the power of technology and being able to code something from nothing. So which is why I also chosen this path to be an entrepreneur.
Right. So maybe you can help us to elaborate a little bit about your early projects, right? Back when school, what were they like?
Right. So when I was in RP first year, I actually started a business selling IT gadgets at a push cart. So basically, back then we can rent a push cart and then you can sell stuff. So I mean, it was due to my experience working in Simlim. So I see that there's a lot of demand of people coming in to buy random stuff like CD-ROMs and mouse and
CD-ROM.
whatnot. Yeah, exactly. That's the period, right? Yeah, people buy CD-ROM to burn discs and things like that. So I think there's some opportunity which I tried. After a while, it gets mundane. So it's like, I mean, retail, right? That's all you can do, sit there, sell stuff. So I stopped doing after like a few months. And then I'm just doing a bit of freelance work for friends or clients. So basically, I build website for people, and that's where I start to self-learn and self-taught programming, web programming, and yeah, that's where I got my skills from.
Right.
Yeah.
So could you share a little bit with us, when you were starting out really as a student, right? Your projects that you mentioned, what were the kind of challenges did you face early on?
Yeah. So I mean, as a student, back then when I was in RP, right, I didn't really do any project on my own. So like I didn't start anything during my RP days. So I only start something when I graduated from RP, and that was like 2 to 3 years later after I graduated. So in my days in RP, I definitely have a lot of ideas. So I talk to my friends, hey guys, hey, let's do this. I think this is a very good opportunity. But like your friends will be like, come on, like play Dota lah, like or go watch movie lah. Why want to do business at this point of time? So I think the main challenge is that I couldn't find a right fit, like the right people to hang out with, and then they don't have the same dream as me to do something. Yeah. So and I believe like there are a few other main issues like no money, no team, no believers. Like nobody believed in what I wanted to do, and then of course the main problem would be the distractions. So basically, as a teenager, you have a lot of things that you want to do.
So can you give us some tips, like as a student back then, right? How do you manage your time? How do you manage that distractions?
Right. So for me, I think I'm like everyone else. I succumb to it. So basically, I just follow what my friends are doing and just chill and hang out. But of course, at the back of my head, I always think that I wanted to do something, but I just couldn't find the right team to execute it at that point of time.
Right. Thanks so much for sharing. I think there were just quite a bunch of students that are joining us now. They just finished their entrepreneurship boot camp, where Angela was judging earlier.
Right.
And I think when I was looking at their some of the ideas, quite a few of them, like they had ideas on gaming. Right. They mentioned building a 3D sort of transformer game. On that, could you share a little bit about how did it pan out for you? What happened eventually when you tried to develop it further?
Right. So I actually did that just for the purpose of FYP. So I had a team. So basically, we really worked on it day and night. And as we build it, we feel more passionate about it because it's like it's coming to life, right? So you start to model the characters. Then after that, you try to put in skeletons to the characters so that there's some movement. And then after that, you have to code the entire logic to make them move around the screen and to shoot stuff coming out from the car and things like that. So it's just something that you would like to see, like it's like a baby coming to life, right? Growing up to be an adult. Yeah. So it's the same as entrepreneurship, I think. So it's like you spend so much time to nurture it, and then once it's ready, then you go out and let the market like validate the solution that you created, right? So yep, I think it's very what do you call it? Satisfying to see it coming live. Yep.
Okay. Thank you. Now I want to share the screen because Damian has very kindly, right, dig his photo album and provided us with some very nice pictures. Let me share the screen now. me a second. It's not showing. Give me a second, huh? Okay, there you go. Do you see my screen?
Wow. Okay.
Okay, so tell us about this. Tell us about this picture here.
Right.
I see that. I'm sorry because you know, this is the best resolution I have of
Okay.
this picture. It's like year 2011. I think the scanners back then, the resolution very poor.
Yeah. So basically, this is my first business. It's called Six Square. I started it when I was in the army. So basically, while I was doing army, I was coding this platform back then. So beside me was Eugene. It's Eugene. So basically, he is still currently my COO for my current business, Motorist. Basically, when we started this business, it was just a idea, and we didn't really go through the proper steps of validation and whatnot. So it's just like something that, oh, hey, there's a gap here, I think. So after that, just start coding. Yeah. So thanks to RP, we got featured on Business Times. And from there, I think there's quite a significant traffic coming in. And then we got our ideas validated by more consumers. I mean, after that, it leads us. It leads to us dropping this platform, and then we kind of niche to something else. Yep.
Right. So what? I just want to bring back. Like, so you left. This was in 2011. Right?
Yep.
Is there any facilitators or teachers you still keep in touch with?
Yes,
back then?
when I was in RP, I seek help from RP, right? I used to talk to Kenneth and Carlos. So I believe
Okay.
Carlos is still around.
Yes, I think he
yep.
could be tuning in right now.
Yeah. So back then, they were helping me, sharing me like what's their feedback about my business and things like that, and also helping me with getting my first grant. So I got a yes. Back then it was under yes. Under ACE.
Yes.
Under Spring Singapore. It's called YES. So basically, it's a 50,000 grant, co-matching with I think I have to put up 12.5K. So I borrowed money from my mom, right, and then I just co-matched the grant amount. So with that, it's actually my first part of money to start something. Yeah. So Six Square, I just share with you guys the idea. So this basically it's like TaskRabbit, if you know about that, or even like currently there's another startup doing the same thing. It's called Outside. Basically, it's a community effort where you match someone that has a request to someone that can deliver the request. So it can be anything from buying groceries to washing your car to anything that you can think of. So basically, it's like a task-driven community C2C platform.
Right.
So didn't work well for us because we didn't have the money to burn to bring in the consumers. But of course, I mean, I think so. The lesson learned from this business is that to build a community-driven platform, right, like C2C, you really need to burn a lot of money. And if you don't have the money to burn, then don't start that business. Yeah, that's my best advice that I can give to you guys. So, but like I said, everything is about execution. So I might fail that time building Six Square, but probably Outside app, which is pretty famous right now. So I hope they execute well and they may lead to something stable. Yep.
Right. Thanks for sharing that. Did you see Mr. Carlos? He was waving to you just now.
I missed. I missed
Oh,
it.
there he is.
Oh, hi.
Hey, Damian. So good to see you. Congrats for all your hard work that you have done.
Thank you.
Congratulations again. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that we were the first ones to start this up.
Right.
Thank you.
Been a
Thank
long
you.
time.
So Damien, you were from SOI. Seems like you had good coding skills.
Yeah.
You knew your Java, you knew your what were the languages back then? What, Visual Basic or something?
Yeah.
So what's your advice? I mean, for someone who has limited knowledge, right, in these areas, right, and they are starting to build, what's the best way to do it?
Right. So I think that's like 100 ways to skin a cat, right? So if you are building a for those that is thinking to build a platform, I think the best way is to learn coding. And I think the easiest language is Ruby on Rails. So if you guys are interested, go and Google Ruby on Rails. There is a tutorial where it teaches you how to build a Twitter platform. So if you can build that, which is what I went through the whole thing from start to beginning. Yeah, so that's where I picked up the entire language, and I think with then on everything else is quite seamless. I say so. Basically, coding is just a few things, right? You have some logic, you have some conditions, and then you show the certain views. So once you have a grasp of the basics, then I think everything else can be researched online through Google, which is one of the good skills that we picked up during RP, right? Otherwise, other platforms that you can use can be like Wix, and WordPress, which is pretty simple, and there's a lot of plugin that you can use. So I think I wouldn't say that like it's impossible. Even like someone that can't code, right? I believe if you put in the right amount of hard work to learn that knowledge, I think it's not rocket science, lah. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next picture. Wow, checks of money.
Yeah.
What's this about?
Right. So after 6Square, we pivoted and we started this platform called quotations.com.sg. So what it does is similar concept. So basically, instead of linking consumers to consumers that can fulfill the task, right, we are linking consumers to businesses. So like the name quotation, what we do is if you need a code for something, like you need a print name card. Then in the platform, I have like 5 to 10 providers that can give you a code after you submit your request. So it goes for other industries like web designer, tutor, swimming coach, whatsoever. Yeah. So that's where I started to see revenue coming in. Yep. Which is why you see those checks, right? When I was young, I was like, wow, like this month there's really money coming in. Then I took a picture and then post it on Facebook. So while I was digging my old photos and then I found this photo, I thought it was quite a moment that I like to share. So
nice.
I think the real validation that you get is when you start to see people buying your stuff, paying for it. And and for the photo on the left, this guy, right? He's you all know the Tauke the chips, the Thailand one. Yeah, so he's the founder of the chips. So there was
seaweed.
The seaweed. Yeah.
Wow.
So basically, there was a movie that was made out of the story. So it's called, I think the Billionaire or something. Yeah, I think it's called The Billionaire. So I actually attended the premiere in Singapore, and then he was there. So I took a photo of them. So I mean, it really inspires me when I was young, and like wow. He's actually much younger than me, like by a few years. And then he was already like a billionaire in Thailand. So yep, I think if you happen to watch this movie, right, I think the story is also quite a heartwarming one, where like he started off with nothing and then he eventually like reaches the finish point and the success at the end of the line.
Nice, nice.
Right.
I just want to go a bit deeper, like because I know a lot of our students here, their ideas. It's also like digital platforms, right? Like you mentioned, some of your earlier projects.
Mm-hmm.
What was your MVP or minimum viable product or your prototype? How did it look like, or can you describe it to us?
Right. So it's actually pretty simple. Basically, all you need is a landing page that shares with your consumers what are they buying into or what are you providing, and then with a form where they can fill up stuff that you can capture on your backend. So you don't even have to build a CMS tool at the backend or whatsoever. So you can just link it to your email and then capture all the data, and then you can transfer it to your Excel sheet. So it's as simple as building just one landing page, and you can actually start a business. So so I so on this note, right, I like to give some advice is that don't overbuild. So like build enough to test. So if you build so much, right, like I have friends, right, they spend like 2 years to 3 years to build the product, and it has never seen the light, right? And once they launch it, and there's no take up, and that's where everything spirals down. So like 2 years of effort is wasted. Might as well you just release it early. Let people validate the idea, get feedbacks, improve on your product, then improve it along the way. Yep.
Right, right. Okay, thanks for that. Let's move on to the next one.
Right. So this is direct cast. Okay. So basically my story, right, it's not like wow, one hit wonder. Like I really like been through my failures and learn from each businesses. So so this is direct cast. So direct cast is a pivot from quotations again. So why I pivoted is because remember when I share about quotations, it's a platform that you can get any quotation for any businesses, right? So over time, like about 1 year into the business, you can start to see your data, and then the data will tell you a lot of things. So what the data is telling me is that car is the one that is transacting the most. So basically, what it was is on quotations, people can get a quote for their vehicle, right? So and I connect car sellers to car dealers through quotation platform. Then realized that this is a very niche market, and I'm earning a lot from this particular service. So might as well just drop everything else and just focus directly on just doing cars, which is why we dropped the entire quotations platform. Then we pivoted to direct cars. Yep, and on the right, that is my first office. So basically, it's just a backend office, and on the left is like our retail site. So basically, people can drive their car to the showroom, and then we can help them to evaluate, like inspect the vehicle to get the valuation. So I start to go deeper into the whole process instead of just a platform where they can just simply get a quote. It becomes like a whole value chain where we inspect the car first, then then we fulfill the entire value chain. So that was my So direct cars is the business that I really start to it starts to become more of a real business per se. So I start to have staff, I start to hire, I start to have processes, build my back end and things like that. So but sadly, I have done direct cars for about 3 years. I stopped doing due to a partnership issue, which I can actually share. So what happened is when I started direct cars, I partner with car dealers. So basically, they are like more traditional people, right? And then I'm more of a tech person. So partnering with them because I'm a platform that offers unbiased quote to car sellers. Basically, I promise the best price possible. And my partners, being car dealers, they want to buy the cars at the cheapest price possible. So there is some conflict of interest where like I can't really fulfill my promise all the time, which leads to some misalignment. And I eventually sold my shares to them 3 years into the business. And that's where I got my first pile of cash. So I cashed out 6 figures. And with that, I proceed to my current venture, which is Motorist. And, and we are 5 years into the business now.
Nice.
Right.
So could you tell us about this slide?
Okay, so this is Switch, which year I've forgotten. I think it's 2018 or 19.
Right.
So we got a sponsored booth from RP. So they gave us a slot. So we were there showcasing our platform. So on the right, this is the minister. I don't remember his name. So basically, So the minister graced us, chat with us about our business, and from that we actually got quite a bit of traction as well. I think it went out. I mean, there's some photos online or things like that. Then we started to get a bit of traffic from this from this Switch event. Yeah. Okay. So I think as a startup or a business, right, you need to expose yourself to more people. Yeah. So attending events like this is good, but as you grow to a later stage, right, then it's not that valuable because how do I put that? So basically, you will get a lot of opportunities when you attend such events, but then again, there are a lot of other startups as well at the event. And as you know, right, startups may not grow past their 3rd year or 4th year. Yeah, so that's the very typical timeline for a new startup. So if they can't cross the 1st to 3rd year mark, then they are dead. So that's where so as you excel, right, or as you grow the company, then like meeting the smaller companies may not be exactly your best interest yet per se lah. Of course, I wouldn't say that it's like totally no, but of course you have bigger priorities to look at, and that's where you start to assign your team to go instead of yourself.
Right.
Yep. So but of course, as I shared earlier, I think it's always good to expose yourself. So just go for a few, and then I think the key thing that I was trying to share, right, is that because every year you go, right, you will see the same people. So you will get bored of it as well, and then then they will also see you again. So if I go to such event, right, usually I go as a personal level. So I'll just go there to see what are the cool new startups that is it's showcasing. So at the same time, speak to the founders, and maybe there's some opportunities that you can have with them. Be it like just keeping the network, and then if there's an opportunity in the future, you can actually bring them over to your business, or to have some strategic kind of partnership with them. Yeah.
Okay, thanks for that. Wow. Could you tell us more about this slide? I see so many people.
Right. So on the left, it's Motorists at our I think 4th year. Yeah, our 4th year. So last year, 4th year is last year, so 2019. So 2019, we actually got our first seed round, seed investment round. So if you look at the photo on the left, that's Shao Ning and Tershin. So these two is like the power couple that they used to build Job Street. Sorry, is it? No, Job Central. Yeah.
Yes.
So they built Job Central. They sold it for quite a lot of money. I think 30+ million or above. Yeah. So right now they are just angel investors, and then we are one of the lucky startups that they are interested to invest in. So brought them in last year. Been good. I mean, it was a good decision that we did. There's a lot of value that they can provide because they are guys like myself that has already been through my phase, and there's so much experience that they can share with you. So and when we took this photo, that was I think our head count was at about 20-ish, 30. So on the right, this was late last year. So back then, I think we have reached about 30-ish employees, and right now we are at about 40-ish. So as we grow, the team grows as well. And I mean, if you have a bigger team, then your overhead is also higher, and that's where you get the stress, lah. Of course, then yep. So when COVID hits, right, then it was quite stressful because you need to make sure that everyone is protected, right? You don't want to, because they fight alongside you when times are good. So when times are bad, you need to make sure that they are taken care of, right? So on the right, I have my teammates from Malaysia and Vietnam. So once a year we gather in Singapore for some team bonding. So that's the photo.
Right. Amazing. Wow.
Right.
30 plus 40 staff.
Yep.
Wow. Okay. This is you going places. I see a lot of awards. Can you tell us more about this?
Right. So on the top left, attended a like the same format, fireside chat, but that is under Amex. So with us, we have Anthony Chow from Igloo Home. So they are also quite a prominent startup, and we also have Sabrina. So Face Inc. I think some of the ladies should know about that company. So so to me, that two character, they are actually more advanced than me. So basically, when I was doing this fire chat, right, I was so nervous, like super duper nervous. I almost ran out of the stage. I swear to God. So luckily I kept calm. I managed to wing it to the end. So yep. So it was an experience where it was the first time that I actually felt nervous on the stage. So I think the setting was very different because it was a floor of a very high level execs and CEOs and of different companies. So which is why I was super duper nervous. So bottom left, we were featured on Channel 8. I think so far we have been featured twice. I couldn't
recently
attend
as well.
Yeah, I recently as well. So I couldn't attend the Channel 8 one where that is Mark, my vice president. So reason being, my Chinese cannot make it. So that's why I didn't attend the interview. So on the right, we got some awards from SME 500, and I think the next slide, we also got an award from SOE, Spirit of Enterprise. So but these are the byproducts that we get, like after we achieve some kind of success. So I mean, of course, these are not the things that you are looking for when you are building a company. But I mean, as and when you achieve something, then these are things that like validate that, oh yeah, Damian, you kind of made it. Yep, you kind of like have something achievable, and I mean, I'm proud to share that. Yeah, I think we did something remarkable to a certain degree.
Nice. So I just want to drill down a little bit more behind the glamour, behind these prices. What really motivates you as an entrepreneur?
Right. Okay, so that is a good question. So for me, right, my answer is I like to build things. I like to create solutions for problems, which actually keeps me going. So I think the key thing is when you start to see people appreciating what you have done, and the testimonials that they gave, the feedback that they gave, people start to use your stuff. That's where you feel motivated to actually just do it and try to improve the things that you are doing. And behind all this glamour, right, I think I also have my down times. Sometimes I just felt like giving up, just giving up lah. So touch wood. I mean, the company right now, Motorists, right, is at a stage that I can not. I don't need to be actively involved in the company anymore. I can just like retire as a chairman or something like that. But I think I'm still young, so I can still continue fighting for another few years. But like I said, behind all this good stuff, right, there are a lot of times that I wanted to give up and like just letting it run as a passive income. So the key thing about building a business, it's not. I mean, your problems doesn't end like, oh, you fix something, then that's it. Then everything smooth sailing. So it's like every stage you have a new problem. Then every time you need to fix it, and then a new problem will come. So I think at my current stage, the key thing is about people. So people managing is the key problem that we are facing. So you have your guys that fight with you for the past 3 years, 5 years. Then some of them felt that they are kind of stuck. Like they feel that there's nothing more to gain from the company, and then they decided to leave, or like they have different ideas, and then if we don't really like follow their route, right, then they start to leave as well. So then there's a lot of branches from there. So there's different steps you can take, but it's always very tough to let go your key people, which is why to me managing a team is the most headache part of building a business.
All right. Let's go to the next slide. Wow. Who's this little fella?
Yep, that's my baby. So his name is Zach. He's 10 months old this year. 10 months old. So he was born last year, August, on the 11th. Here's something that I'm looking forward to. So I've been spending my whole life, right, building my company. I think I've been an entrepreneur for about 10 plus years. So never really stopped to think about having a family. So me and my wife is Angela. I think some of you guys met her. She was judging just now for the pitch, right? So yes. Me and my wife, we were together since RP. So RP until now is like 17 years. So I mean, we have discussion to have baby then like maybe 5 years ago. But to me, I still think that it's not enough. I still want to continue building the business. But I mean, like eventually you will feel that it's about time that we need to start a family, right? So to me, that moment is when I was 31. So 31, I was like, something is missing in my life. So it's not just about business anymore. I think we need to move on to something else. So we discussed and we decided that it's time to have a kid. And 2 years down the road, we have Zach, and I think my life changes. My life kind of changed after I have my firstborn. So I think it's quite a drastic change. In fact, I stopped working so hard already. So I really end work at like 6, and then I will just go home to play with my kid and to be with my family. So back then when we were just married, right, without any commitment, I would be working day and night. Like I would work like till 1, 2 a.m. in the morning, and then I will sleep. Next day, wake up, do the same thing all over again. So the biggest change that I have after I have a kid is that I don't have so much time for my business anymore, because I wanted to be there for my family. Yeah, right. But then I still, I think I will not regret this decision, because if I miss them growing up, right, then I think that would be something that I will most likely regret.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing so much insights and personal stories. Now I'd like to go on to the next segment. But before we go there, can I request everyone to switch on their cameras so that we can all take a big group photo? Students, don't be shy. Mr. Leslie is here as well.
Hello.
Students. All right. Some more. Ah. Oh, that's amazing. Keep it coming. Adriel, if you're there, can you help us take a photo?
Okay.
Okay, on the count of three, let's pose. Let's like a thumbs up or something.
Okay, ready to
One,
pause. 1, 2,
2,
3.
3.
Nice. Okay.
Okay, thank you so much. All right, now I want to go on to the Q&A. Right, I'm sure our students have a lot of questions for you, especially who walked their path before. So students, if you may key in and type in on the chat channel some of the questions you have, and Damian, we can pick it up from there.
Sure.
All right, we got the first question from Pyotin. How much did it cost to create an app like Motorist? Did you outsource to an app developer?
Okay, we did it in-house. We took about a year and a half to build it. I'm not sure how in-depth are you familiar with the Motorist app, but it has quite a bit of feature, and it's all native. So basically, it's not like web, right, where you just have to click around. So I wouldn't. The cost that I have is from paying my developers over the course of 1.5 years, and then the app is about 2 years old right now. So I think I spent about 200 plus K. Yep. Total spend so far about 200 plus K. So it's not a cheap investment, which is why my advice, right, to like-minded entrepreneurs, right, try not to build an app for a beginning. Yep. Start with a website or do a web app. There are such tools online where you can make a mobile web into an app version, and that's so much cheaper. Yeah. So only when you start to see traction users, then you start to convert them into native functions, which I think will be a better bet.
All right.
Yep.
All right. Next question from Dilton. What were some of the reasons that made you want to give up?
Right. So I think one of the most emo part of my life when I was in Malaysia. So I started Motorist Malaysia, I think in 118, the quarter of 18. So I was there for about 4 months alone. So basically, you have no friends, you eat alone, do everything alone. You just day in, day out, just focus to build up the platform, right? So it becomes a bit demoralizing for me. And then the Singapore's problem also come piling on to my emotions. So I have like my key personnels, they are unhappy, and then they throw tantrum, whatnot. So it makes me feel like saying, hey, wait, this recording will be posted on Facebook or something, right? Yeah. So so I think the key thing is I'm quite an emotional person, so it makes me feel a bit upset when people wants to leave, or when people give you problem. Yep.
That's amazing. Thanks for sharing. We probably won't post the whole thing on Facebook to assure you. But the key is, we wanted this to be a lot honest, right? So that our students can really learn what it is in the real life,
Right.
So keep the questions coming in. Students, if you may, you can switch on your mics and ask the questions to Damian directly. Okay, I see a question from Raynard. Damian, do you see it?
Yep. Were there changes since you were
Okay, for the benefit of the audience, I'll just read it out. Since Motorist provides deferring car services, right, insurance, COE, selling of cars, what are challenges since you have to manage different kind of categories? And then as a startup without much funding, would you recommend the startup focus on a particular service first?
Yep. So basically, I started off Motorist with just selling. So basically, there's no COE renewal, there's no insurance, there's no app. So basically, we have just one service and one product, which is to help consumers sell their vehicle. So we did it pretty well, I would say. So basically, as a C2B car auction platform in Singapore, we're actually the top transacting platform. Even like we have better transactions than our nearest competitor, SG Carmart, or I mean, the rest will be like Caro, Custom. Yeah. So as we build the business, we realized that there are other opportunities, and then once we stabilize this particular product, right, then we move on to build new things. So end of the day, we just have to build. We just have to have one GM. We call them GM. So like a GM that handles a particular vertical. Then the management team, we will move on to build new things. So I think to answer this question, you need to have a focus so that you do it very well. Then you can have the bandwidth to do other things, right? Yep, I think that should answer your question.
Thanks for that. Next question from Kavan. How do you manage the hiring process at the start?
Okay. I think you are referring to hiring of employees, right? Not my management team. So pretty simple. You just create an account on JobStreet or JobsDB, post up your listing, and then you start to see resumes pouring in.
How do you decide who or what kind of skills do you need, or that kind of thing?
The prettiest. No lah. So basically, of course, firstly, you have to identify who you want to hire, right? Like, what's the gap that you have? So for me, the first person that I hired was a salesperson. So, I mean, over the years, you will be trained to a certain degree on how to analyze someone. Yeah. So it's not rocket science as well, unless they are very good actors. So just talk to them, ask them your questions, and I think the key thing is you may not find your best candidate, but out of the 10 or 20 people that you interview, there's definitely the ones that stands out. Then yeah, just choose from there. Because I mean, to me, hiring is a opportunity thing. So like the right person comes at the right time, then you hire them. So it's not like, oh, you have like the liberty of like few years to hire or to wait for somebody that is good. So yep. So if you feel that the person is a good match, then I think that's very important. So on that note, just want to go a bit more in depth. Number one is attitude. I think attitude is very important. You need to find someone with the right attitude. Hardworking is also very important. So they don't have to be very smart, but they have to be hardworking. They need to be able to fight alongside you. I think the last one is politics. So if you feel that the person can be a politician, then I think try not to hire lah.
Thanks for that. Dilton asked, when do you reach your ROI? I guess he means break even.
Okay, so it's very hard to answer this question. So if you are talking about my latest company, Motorist, right? We make revenue on our first month. Sorry, on our first month we already make profits. So started off with my initial investment. So I took about 1 month plus to rebuild the entire system. So once we start to launch it, then yeah, first month we minus off the marketing spend, the salary, we already are making profits. But if you talk about like the first few business, right, like 6 Square, there's no ROI, so we failed. So quotations, yeah, there's ROI. So basically, we start to like I think about 6 months into a business, then we start to see revenue, and they are able to cover my overhead and costs. So, but I feel that for us, or okay, how do I say it? Okay, so there are many ways to do a business, right? I mean, this is more in depth. So there are different business models. So there are some models, right? You need to burn for many years, then you can start to see revenue. There are some business that first day you can start to make money. So it really depends on your circumstances. So if you have funding and you have the if you have the what do you call that? If you have the time or you have the runway, if you have the runway to burn, right, then just follow that business model. Otherwise, I would prefer a model that is like more of like first day you can make some money already. Yep.
Okay. Thanks so much. I think we are going to wrap up.
Okay.
Damian, if I may ask you, if there is, a short sentence, right, for students, for them to understand, right, what is the purpose of entrepreneurship, right, that you want them to remember, right? What would that be?
So as an entrepreneur, for me, I felt that you have to be passionate in the things that you are doing. So basically, have passion in your product or solution. So don't just build a business because you see money end of the day, because you will just get tired of doing the things that you are doing. So like, I feel that any sort of business is a good business or can be a profitable business. So how do you endure the entire journey, right? Then that's the key. If you are a cook and you like to cook stuff, then I think opening a cafe or things like that, you will feel happy daily going into the cafe to set up everything, right? So so along that line, so basically, don't follow money, follow your passion. Yeah.
Amazing. Don't follow money, follow your passion.
Yep.
Thank you so much, Damian. It was a pleasure talking with you. Students from the Entrepreneurship Bootcamp, I'll see you for a wrap-up session on the general chat channel, right? For the rest of our audience, thank you for tuning in. Until next time, all right, see you again. Thanks, Damian.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.